So the BSB season finished a little while ago, and we got a new champion this year. Bradley Ray won his first British Championship at Brands Hatch for the OMG Yamaha team. A little birdie told us he was coming here today to Nevis Marketing, who are the UK distributors for Shark helmets, which Bradley wears. So we decided to gate crash the party, come down here and see if we could get 10 minutes with Brad and Mark, who's the guy that looks after his crash helmets at all the races.
Cargo, all strapped in. Cheers, check it out. Seatbelts on. Beautiful. Yes. Cheers, good job.
So he's here, Bradley Ray's arrived and he's brought his trophy with us. We'll get onto that later and some crash helmets. But first, I just really kind of wanted to just get to know you a bit better. It was the first time we've met and I was really interested mainly about how your journey to becoming British champion, which is fantastic, congratulations.
Thank you.
By the way. You came through a different path. You went off and did a lot of racing in Spain and tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so my idea, obviously in my career, I wanted to make it to MotoGP. I wanted to go into Moto3, into Moto2, and then make it to MotoGP. And my goal and my sights were to stay on the GP bikes, go through that route. And at the time in the UK, when I moved on to like a 125, there was no sort of route into Spain. So we went to Spain, done the Spanish Championship on a Metric 80, I think it's back 2009.
Right.
Ended up coming back to the UK and done BSB in 2011 on a GP 125.
Yes.
And in that same year, I done the Red Bull Rookies Cup for the first year. And
that's part of the MotoGP.
That was part of the MotoGP.
Yeah.
So that was sort of my aim, was to get into GP that way. So I wanted to stay on the 125. And then in 2012, they changed to Moto3. So I actually done 3 years in the Red Bull Rookies, and in them 3 years I done as many rounds in the British Championship as I could,
right,
and as many rounds in the CEV Spanish Championship, just to try and get my name out there, try and get some good results, and hopefully, while I was still able to, make the step into Moto3, into World Championship. But unfortunately, that didn't happen in them years. The dream still stayed there to go into GP, but I ended up moving into Moto2 in the Spanish Championship in 2015, I think it was.
Right.
As almost like one last chance to try and get in, because I was a little bit taller then, I was getting a little bit older.
Course, yeah.
And that was sort of my last chance, but yeah, it didn't sort of work out.
It's funny you're talking about it in the past tense. So is that dream, is that gone now?
Well,
has fate sort of dealt you a different hand now?
It's difficult. I'd like to say I'd want to make it there. Obviously, the dream is to be a MotoGP and become world champion. But realistically, how the paths are now and how the racing world works now is they've got such strong riders coming through the Spanish Championship, starting in Moto3 obviously, and then going from Moto3 into Moto3 and MotoGP. And then they've just got like a stepping stone basically to make their way up. And they've got that many fast young kids around Europe starting in the Spanish Championship, moving up. Then the likelihood of them looking into BSB is
they don't need to.
It's not going to happen. So the realistic for me is to become world champion is to go into the World Superbikes.
Is to go through that
way,
yeah.
It's not impossible if you do a good job like Top Rack.
Of course,
there's doors that can still open if you're young enough and you're doing a good job. But realistically, World Superbikes will be the main aim.
So I'm guessing back in those days in Spain, you must have raced against some people who we now know have gone on. Is there anyone you can mention?
Yeah, no, a lot of people. Joan Mir,
okay, right,
him. Top Rack, I raced with him. He was in Red Bull. Bastianini, Jorge Martin.
Wow.
I raced Alex Marquez, Oliveira. I think Bagnaia was in one of the races in Moto3, So yeah, I've been
you've been
with them and rode with
bash
them.
fairings of that lot, yeah.
So
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, it's just one of them things. It's just didn't sort of plan out for me.
We have to talk about this year. Switch from BMW to Yamaha. That was the first big thing, and obviously that seems to have been part of what's all come together nicely for this year. So, what was the difference there with the BMW and the Yamaha? I mean, we know the Yamaha's got this crazy engine configuration. Was that part of it, or was that a thing, or was it just what was the difference?
The BMW is a difficult bike, as you can see from even in World Championship and World Endurance and BSB. It's a difficult bike to find a good base setting with and get decent results. It works some weekends and not others, and we found it difficult. And I knew the Yamaha would be a strong bike from what it's done in the last few years.
The previous season,
and the way you have to ride the Yamaha is my sort of natural riding style.
Which is
for me, getting off the brakes really early, running loads of corner speed and quite a bit of lean angle, which the Yamaha likes.
Yeah, that's actually quite an old school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that kind of goes against the sort of perceived.
Yeah, and you can see from a lot of people that ride the Yamaha, that's how you have to ride it. And same with Fabio in GP. He has to run fast corner speed to get it to work. And my first test was in Spain in December last year, and straight away I got on it and I thought, right,
I'm home.
Game on now. Felt at home straight away. I only done sort of 20 laps and I was already on a good pace.
Oh wow, really? Gosh. It must be an amazing feeling that. You've done a couple of years on a difficult bike.
Yeah.
You jump on a different bike.
Yeah, because you doubt yourself. You doubt yourself and you doubt your ability. Because I rode the Suzuki for quite a while and then went to the BMW and still weren't getting very good results. So you sort of start doubting yourself and you think, have I still got it? Have I still got the ability to do well? But as soon as I jumped on the Yamaha, it reignited something in me and kick-started me. And I thought, right, this game on now.
Yeah, let's go. Did you ever think about quitting or packing it in?
Yeah, I did actually in 2016 it was, after a couple of difficult years with the Moto2 job. I started 2016 on an R6 in Supersport in BSB, and it wasn't a very good bike. It was an old bike from an ex-sponsor, and I got on it and I couldn't get in the points. I couldn't ride the thing.
Just wasn't happening.
It wasn't happening, and I thought, at that point, you know what?
What am I doing?
This. Yeah, I've tried my hardest to get where I need to go. Mum and Dad were forking out tens of thousands of pounds every year for me to follow my dream, but ultimately at some point it's got to turn around and you've got to maybe earn a bit of money from it or make a sort of job and life out of it. But I said to them, if this year doesn't go to plan and we don't start doing well, then it's knock it on the head and I'll find something else. Because at that time I wasn't enjoying it. The dream sort of fizzled out. I wanted to go into MotoGP and it didn't happen. But we ended up buying a brand new Yamaha after round 2. And the first round on it, straight on the podium, and then second round, double podium, and I think I got a double win at Cadwell.
Okay, so, right. So there's something about jumping on a new Yamaha.
Yeah, brand new.
Every time that's happened, it's.
So me and Yamaha have a good relationship. And the R1's like a big R6. The way it rides, the way it handles. Obviously a lot more power, but the characteristics of the bike are the same.
Yeah.
And I just got on with it straight away. And I knew at the start of this year that if I was going to be champion, it'd be this year because I had everything in place. The bike was there, the team was there. I put in a good winter. I felt mentally good going into the season. So I knew that I had to give every race everything that I had. And after getting on the podium and always being either first or second in practice and qualifying and fighting for wins. And then I got my first win at Alton Park, it was on the Yamaha. That was my first win for 4 years in BSB.
What the hell's that long?
Yeah.
Wow,
so it was nice to tick that box again.
Yeah.
And I knew after a couple of rounds that we'd be strong and be able to fight for the championship. Obviously, Jason and Taz have been on the bike for a lot of years.
Long time, yeah.
And I knew we'd be maybe a little bit on the back foot, but the main aim was obviously to secure the showdown, get as many podium credits, and then attack the last 3 rounds. But yeah, the whole season just come together. No breakdowns. A couple of DNFs, but it was just a phenomenal year.
I remember watching the Thruxton race, and it was kind of like this, through your fingers. It was terrifying to watch, you know. And I have to ask, you know, I've got this chance to ask you, what was it as scary, as terrifying from where you were? Because it was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's funny because when you watch it on TV, it's like you get some close moments and some spin ups, but because you're all there and you're all doing the same speed, everything's almost in slow motion. So
it's all relative.
Somebody can't see into and you've got time to react and do what you need to do, but. That for me was probably one of the best weekend racing I've had, because all three of us were. There was parts of the track where somebody would be a little bit quicker than others, but over the whole lap there was a tenth between us.
Okay, so Brands Hatch. Fast forward to Brands Hatch. It's the last round. It's your first chance to take the title. You took it in race 2.
Race 1.
Race
Saturday,
1. Sorry, of course. Pardon me. Yeah, you brought your helmet from that weekend. For us to have a close look at. Let's get a look at that. When you were showing this to me earlier, it's still got the tear offs on. We were talking about tear offs, and there's some scuffs up here. And the first thing I thought, he's crashed in this one. Explain the scuffs.
Yeah, so this is I did actually crash in this one in race 2 on the Sunday, but because I'm quite a big lad. When I tuck in or go over hilltops at Alton Park or Cadwell, I end up headbutting the screen because the screen's quite big.
Yeah.
I've always done this. Mark always puts this special film on the top to protect the paint. But yeah, it's just got these scratches.
So what's that? Is this the screen? This is the screen of the bike.
Yeah, the screen
is causing that.
Yeah, just you go over the hill. You just try and pull yourself forward to get a bit of weight on the
front.
And
you're actually heads touching the screen.
Yeah,
fantastic. So. And the detail on the back, Mark was telling us a bit about this, and we don't get to see this on the telly.
Yeah.
We've got some nice little details here on your design. Talk us through those.
Yeah, so this one was. I'd done this one the start of last year. Actually, I wanted like dreams plus dedication equals success. So for me, that's like you always have your dream to want to do something, and you've almost got to dedicate your life to succeed. So, and the Rubik's Cube was like a thing where you've got to get everything, all the pieces together.
Okay, that's the relevance. That makes sense.
So,
yeah,
the Milky Bar Kid. That was when I was a kid. I had real big round glasses, blonde hair. So I looked like the Milky Bar Kid. That's my little parrot.
You got a parrot?
I've got a parrot at home.
Oh yeah. What's it called?
Gertie. She comes to all the races with us.
No way. In your motorhome.
Yeah, in the motorhome.
Fantastic.
So she's there, and just a little quote from my granddad who passed away last year.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, he always used to say every time I went round there, we used to say the same thing. So I got his.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
nice touch. So. Yeah, it's those little touches, isn't they? Because you never see that stuff. No, it's real nice.
But yeah, Rich Art does all the start of 2021. I said to him, I want pink and I want a bit of glitter in there. I said, you just design it, you crack on, and that's what he come out with.
And why number 28? How did you arrive at that?
So that was my first ever race in mini motos as a kid.
Okay.
Back then, you used to basically there was a hat and
you got a random
numbers
number
in a hat, so I put my hat in. It was number 28. So
that was
it stuck with me. I've had 82 and 128 in the past.
But it's always there. The 8 and the 2 are there. Yeah, brilliant.
Always been 28.
So then you win the title. And Mark has got this one.
A special deal.
Bradley Ray Champion, 2022 British Superbike with the big number 1 on it. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing seeing it up close, and you've got the same details on there, which is great. So it's an exact replica. What will you do with that? Is that something you'll? You're not going to wear it, surely.
No, that's just
a keeper.
In a glass cabinet at home. Yeah. Only comes out for events like this, but
special occasions.
It's at home with a trophy next to it and a championship.
Okay, yeah. Well, you certainly earned it.
Yeah.
That's been really interesting, Brad. Appreciate your time on that and having a close look at your crash helmets, especially. It's been great to meet you and talk about these things and find out a bit more about you. And let's go and look at the trophy. So I'm here with Mark Elledge, who's Shark's racing and tactical manager, who basically looks after all the helmets for the Shark riders at the BSB meetings. So last time we were here, we spoke to you mainly about Tom Sykes' crash helmet, and you showed us how you service that and all the particular needs and requirements that Tom has for his crash helmet. And straight away, I was just thinking, I must ask you about, you mentioned about Tom has all this extra padding in there to cover up or to absorb the sweat because he hasn't got any hair.
Yeah.
To put it bluntly, and Brad's the complete opposite. He's got a massive head of hair and obviously glasses as well. And I was just wondering, is there any sort of concessions or alterations you've had to make to Brad's crash helmets?
Only one key thing for Brad really is that he wears glasses. So he's always worn glasses, and it's obviously quite a serious thing when you're doing them kind of speeds. To make sure the glasses are in place, comfortable, don't move around. Yeah. So he actually wears the interior pads, the standard pads that we put in the helmets for normal customer,
right?
Called Easy Fit for glasses,
right?
Just so that you can put your glasses on quite easily, but also when the glasses are on, it's not pressing, it doesn't push into your temple and just.
So they're pads for people with glasses. So if I'm a regular punter and I've got glasses and I can spec those same pads, that's a standard off the shelf
Pretty
thing.
much every helmet in the range has that.
So it's not like a custom.
No. I mean, I could do that if I needed to, but he uses a standard easy fit pad. Optically, one of the key benefits of the Race R Pro helmet that he uses is that it's a Class 1 optical visor. So there's zero distortion in the curve of the shell of the visor, and it's anti-fog coated, so we don't use an insert on the inside, because if you imagine you're wearing glasses and a visor and an anti-fog insert and tear off
layers and layers and layers.
It's affecting the.
It's going to eventually interfere, isn't it?
Distort the vision. So it's key that it just adds. It's another level of comfort that he's happy with. Gotcha. It works. He never has any problems with it. Touch wood.
Has he ever tried without glasses? Has he ever tried contact lenses?
Yeah, I think last year or maybe the year before he did try, but in the end it didn't work.
That wasn't for him.
So no,
that wasn't for
back
him.
to glasses.
So with Brad's helmet then, I know all racers have got their own little needs and wants with their helmets and their visors and stuff. Is there anything that stands out with Brad?
He very, very rarely uses a clear. So that's probably one thing that stands out different than
even
a lot
in the
of the other. Even in the rain, he'll generally use a light tint or a medium tint visor, and then obviously when it's sunny, a dark visor. So he's pretty easy to look at on the visor front. No stress. He's very chilled.
It's very easy to deal with.
Really.
I wonder now if
easy.
he's champion, if he still will be.
Being cool, being chilled about it is the best that you can possibly be, because once you start getting frustrated or all anxious about what's happening, then you end up start breathing heavily and potentially could give yourself a problem. So he's so easy because he's just chilled.
You mentioned the gold helmet. Let's talk about that then. So obviously there's a decision that is your decision that comes down to you. There's obviously a point in the run up to the final round where mathematically he's got a chance of taking the title. And you guys quite rightly want to celebrate that with him and present him with a special, we've all seen it, the gold championship winning crash helmet. But I often wonder, is there like superstitions around that? I mean, we were talking earlier and you said it was fairly good chance he was going to take it that weekend at Brands Hatch. But still, there's a point in time where you obviously have to decide we're going to do a helmet and commission that. How far in advance is that? When do your superstitions not let you do it? Because that must be that can't be in between the second to last and last round. You must commission that sooner than that, surely.
We spoke about it beforehand. Sort of, if we press the button, can we go?
How deep can we go?
Allocate the time to do it. And obviously, Rich has painted Brad's helmets for many seasons now. We spoke about it, and then as it was getting closer to the point, it's like, this is looking good. Let's push the button and go for it. Very difficult.
So was that with just the one round still to go, or did you place the order while there was more than one round still to go? Can you remember?
Just one round to go.
Still, after, I can't remember what the second to last round was.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks.
What was the second to last round? Was it
Alton Park?
So it was after Alton?
Yeah, or during Alton, in fact.
Okay, that's how it was, right. So during Alton, you've gone, let's get this done.
So he's won that one, he's second,
you're doing the sums and you're thinking, okay, who's the next big thing? Who should we be putting our money on?
Well, I was out riding yesterday with somebody, but I can't. It's not official yet. But there's another
youngster on the way through.
There's always
no
other people.
tips. So you're not going to give us a tip then?
No, I can't.
Come on, Matt.
Not at the
We've travelled all this way down. It's raining. I stayed in a Premier Inn without a bar open last night.